Welcome back, everyone. Happy New Year. As I'm recording this a little after midnight, it is indeed 2023. Got the festivities all live. LA, California love. We know how to party. Thank you very much for tuning in to another year of Mann Cinema Reviews. Today's episode is going to chronicle my top 20 best films of 2022. But before we get to that, go ahead and do what you do best, and that is to press like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well to notify you of any and all reviews to this channel that you love to call Mann Cinema Reviews with its lovely host, Peter Mann. What's up, y'all? Before I give you my honorable mentions and my top 20 best films, I kind of want to celebrate with you. Got the Mi Familia tequila going on. Shout outs to my cousin Justin. This thing is smooth, yo. Gonna have a shot with you. Happy New Year, y'all. It burns so good. Woo! All right. So for some honorable mentions, some films I just loved, and I'd be remiss to say that I didn't include them on this list. She Said, Breaking, The Woman King, Kimmy, Fresh, Prey, and The Black Phone. Again, these are films that I considered really high on the list. Had to do some rearranging, but you know how we do it. Here it goes, my top 20. Starting at number 20, The Triangle of Sadness. This is Ruben Östlund's satire on the rich as they have their comeuppance. These uber rich people on this cruise ship getting what their just due is, being shipwrecked on an island, and now they must survive with the help of the remaining crew on board. This film, again, was something that really stuck in my head when I saw it. I didn't know quite what to make of it. I thought it was just an ensemble cast. It's an art house film with edge, with style, with grace, and it's just got that biting satire. And really, I really want to go back and check out Ruben Östlund's earlier works. Triangle of Sadness is a satire that has to be seen. Going to number 19, The Northman, Robert Eggers, coming with the Nordic epic. This was a film that I really did like. It was earlier in the year, just an ensemble cast as well. Nicole Kidman, Alexander Skarsgård, Anya Taylor-Joy. This film was just about deception, deceit, revenge, and it's just so compelling. It was so fantastical, and I just really, really like this film. Going on to number 18, Ty West's Texas Chainsaw Massacre homage. I really do like what Ty West is doing. He really just knows how to break into that grungy 1970s look, and I really do like his trajectory. He does have a series, a saga, if you will, another film coming next year called Maxine, and this one was just a stamp on old retro style guerrilla filmmaking horror, and I really did like that film. An ensemble cast. 2022 was the year of ensemble casts, and again, this is a little indie art house horror film, and you gotta love it for that. Going on to number 17, Bones and All, another artsy horror drama romantic film. Timothée Chalamet and crew do what they can do in this cannibalistic love story. Again, this was a film that was divisive among audience and critics. Either you loved it or you hate it, but I really did think that it was a unique take on just a cannibalistic love story. We had something very vibrant, very fresh in the film Fresh earlier in the year. Again, this is an honorable mention, but I think that Luca Guadagnino really just honed in on the atmosphere and ambiance, and Fresh was a great film, but this was a work of art. Luca Guadagnino really did bring it in his cannibalistic love story, and I really do think that you should check it out. Going on to number 16, also polarizing, Alex Garland's Men, another film that really was divided with critics and audience, even more so I think with Bones and All. But I really do think that you need to go back and look at the deeper meanings of this film. It really does cast a dark cloud on toxic masculinity and taking to task. I really did think that Jesse Buckley and Rory Kinnear really did do a work of art, just playing off of each other, and they're basically making up the cast of Men. This was a film, an A24 film, that really needs to be seen to be experienced. Going on to number 15, Babylon. This is Damien Chazelle's love story to early 1920s silent film era. This is, again, a barrage of talent. Spearheading this film is Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, and this was a film that also did not do too well at the box office. Damien Chazelle, I hope this garners a lot more accolades for you and your crew. If not Best Picture, I really do think that the cinematography is great. I think that the musical score is really elevated. This is an homage to the cinema, and that's why I really love this film. This was the year of just preserving movie theaters, cinema, and I gotta love it for that. A little bit of a mess, but I think it's a spectacle to be seen, and really one of Damien Chazelle's most ambitious films to date. Going on to number 14, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now we had another multiverse film in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but this was A24's art house look at a multiverse. Again, this is about everyday people. It's made up of an Asian cast, and you gotta love it for that with its representation. It's just a great ensemble, and the directors Daniels really do just bring that art house fun to it, giving that existential perspective, but also giving something endearing and one of the most unique films to come out this year. Going on to number 13, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. This was a very cool stop motion mockumentary, if you will. Jenny Slate provided the voice for Marcel, a little shell that really wants to go out in this broad, vast world and look for his family, and he gains YouTube notoriety. I think this is a film that really highlights the underdog, and again, this was a little small film that just really just went for the heartstrings and pulled it. This was very creative. Going on to number 12, one of the last films that I reviewed this year with my son, Avatar: The Way of Water. Now, this film was James Cameron's follow-up to 2009's Avatar. Again, a spectacle to be seen. The imagery is great. I think the cast and crew really just go above and beyond, enhancing what the first film did. And again, one of the rarest times where a sequel surpasses its original. I really do think that even though I did have problems with a meandering script, not tight enough, not beefed up, I really do think that the imagery and thematic elements do elevate this film to just great lengths. And James Cameron has a couple films coming for this series, and I'll stay tuned. Going on to number 11, On the Count of Three. Now, this was a small film. It is stand-up comedian Gerard Carmichael's directorial debut. It debuted last year at Sundance Film Festival, but got a small release in May, as well as Amazon Prime streaming service. If you did not catch it, it is one that deals with the heavy. It deals with suicide. It deals with mental illness. And it was about two best friends really coming to grips of maybe ending each other's life in one day. On the Count of Three really did break me like no other film did. It really was a small indie that I hope you go and seek out, because On the Count of Three was one of my favorite and personal favorite films of the year. Now going on to my top 10 heavy hitters. At number 10, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. This was a film to be seen. Chadwick Boseman not with us to carry on the torch as the titular Black Panther. His sister in the film, Shuri, takes up the mantle, and everybody in this cast gives you the homage and what you found special in the original Black Panther, and just broadens the scope. I really did think that Tenoch Huerta as the villain was such a standout in this film, and I really do think that the third act and the post-credit scene really bring it to higher heights than it's just regular standard Marvel film does. Again, this was the best Marvel cinematic release, and you had heavy hitters like Doctor Strange and Thor, but they just couldn't hold a candle to what Black Panther Wakanda Forever was. Number 10 is a fun entry in the list, so I thought I would give it its homage and just do. Number 9, Till. Now this was a special film that was decades in the works. I just think that the cast and crew just really bring it, giving such a highlighted perspective in Emmett Till and his mother, Mamie Till. I just think that this was one of the most important films to be seen, and I feel like it just got a little under the radar. The lead actress did not get any nomination come Golden Globes. I really do think that the Academy Awards really needs to take a look at her performance, because I really do think that it was a sight to be seen. Till really broke me, and this was just an emotional ride and a very big step up in the biopic genre. Going on to number 8, this is Nope. This is Jordan Peele's Steven Spielberg-esque filmmaking. I think this is one of his most ambitious films to date. Again, he has not missed. This one was one of his least scary films, being a centrally horror filmmaker. This was more a science fiction spectacle with a lot of commentary on the social status and just artificial beings that come more and more prevalent, coming to the light as we are not alone on this universe. Nope really was an amalgam of a lot of things, but it was definitely a fun spectacle at the theaters. Going on to number 7, The Fablemans. This is, again, like Babylon, like films of this year, another film that comes to mind, Armageddon Time. A lot of filmmakers really wanted to bring their story to the big screen, their upbringing, their love of cinema and the craft. Steven Spielberg, this is one of the most, if not his most personal films in his filmography, one of the lesser big budgeted films as well. This was also in select theaters. It did okay at the box office. Wasn't one of the big performing films of Steven Spielberg's filmography, but it was one that highlighted his upbringing, highlighted his love of the cinema, and it really got in the perspective of what the cinema means to folks that are cinephiles. The Fablemans was a love story of cinema, and I gotta love it for that. Going on to number 6, The Banshees of Inisherin. Martin McDonagh just knocks it out of the park. Again, coming with his usual cast of Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell. It was great to see them re-team up from in Bruges. And this was a slow burn of sorts, but it really got to the human emotion in its storyline. I really think that the cast and crew really did bring it, and it was a film that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, but I definitely think that come the Oscars, it'll definitely be one as a heavy hitter. And I really do think that it should pick up any accolades it does deserve. Going on to my top 5 favorite films of the year. At number 5 is the big budgeted film Top Gun Maverick. It is a film in the years in the making. Tom Cruise really did bring it with the stunts, and I really do think that this is a sight to be seen. It definitely should have been seen in the format that it was filmed in IMAX. It is definitely riveting. It breathes new life in the original Top Gun, which, again, this was the rare moment where a sequel surpasses its original tenfold. Top Gun Maverick is just one of the best films ever, and I think it is one of the best films of 2022. Going on to number 4, The Batman. This is Matt Reeves' Dark 7 Zodiac-esque film. It is definitely reminiscent of David Fincher's work. I think that this is the most darkest that we've seen Gotham depicted. This is the early years of Bruce Wayne taking up the mantle as the Caped Crusader, the Dark Knight. And this was just a spectacle. I think that the cast and crew really did bring it. Matt Reeves, I am just riveted in seeing what you do in your series for the Batman. The Batman was definitely one of my personal favorites of 2022. Now we are getting to the end of my top 20 best films. Number 3, coming at it again, Ty West is mentioned twice on my list, only because I really do think that what he has is special. And number 3 is Pearl. This is the prequel to X. This is the telling of the main character. She was an elderly woman in X, and this is her origin story. This was the highlighting of films of yesteryear. Again, this year is just highlighting the golden era of cinema, and Ty West just really does bring it in Pearl. I think that Mia Goth is a muse, and she just definitely is stunning in everything that she releases. And I can't wait to see what Ty West does in his concluding saga, Maxine, coming this year. Now, number 2, this was a film that I really did think that really needed to be seen, especially because the lead actress is definitely a shoo-in for Best Actress, and that is Cate Blanchett in Tar. Todd Field has not made a film in 16 years, and so this is his 3rd directorial project. He really did shine in his own brand of Stanley Kubrickian filmmaking. This is definitely one to be seen. If you have not seen Tar, it is currently available for digital, and I believe I saw it in stores as well. I definitely will go pick this up. This is a odyssey of a woman who is a conductor for a German orchestra, but it's a definite character study and one to be seen. This is a odyssey of one woman that story, once the film concludes, you really want to see more of what she does in her later life, and one that I definitely did not want to end. Tar is one of the greatest films of 2022. Now at number 1, You must wonder what film really did get to Man's Cinema Reviews heart, and definitely I am one of emotionality. Just like my number one pick last year, Swan Song, number one is Darren Aronofsky's The Whale. Now, Brendan Fraser is definitely a shoo-in for Best Actor. If he does not win, it will be a travesty, because this is a behemoth of a role. I think that the cast and crew do phenomenal work. Definitely one of Darren Aronofsky's best films, if not his best film to date. The Whale, if you have not seen it, it is currently in theaters, and I just really do recommend you watching this film. This film obliterated me like no other. I've never cried so much in a movie theater as I did with The Whale. Now, there are films that I have not seen, Women Talking, and a couple others, Pinocchio, the Netflix film, that I really do want to take a look at, and I will have another episode that will be a catch-up episode in this new year. But thank you very much for tuning into another year of Man's Cinema Reviews, and be looking forward to a great year in 2023. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.